Hi, welcome to data engineering, and today we are going to discuss about SQOOP. So SQOOP is one of the important component in Hadoop framework, and SQL plus Hadoop is called SQOOP. Okay, so SQ from here and OOP from Hadoop. So it's called SQOOP, and SQOOP comes under a data pipeline. We call it as a data pipeline tool. Any component that migrates data from one place to another place, we call it as data pipeline. So SQOOP comes under data pipeline. So here, what SQOOP is actually doing and from where it is migrating the data. So SQOOP is used to migrate the data from Rdbms to Hadoop and Hadoop to Rdbms. And it's open source, it's free to download from the Apache site. So group of people from the different background and different organizations and individuals who contributed for SQOOP. It's not like invented by one such organization, like we say Hive by Facebook, right? So and Pig by Yahoo. So SQOOP is not something like that. It's invented by a group of people from different concerns organizations, and they are like contributors. So they have invented it and it's free to download, as I told you. So rdbms to Hadoop, and that's what SQOOP is doing. So rdbms, when I say rdbms, like import and export from and to Hadoop is possible with SQOOP. When I say rdbms, that could be any or traditional database like MySQL, db2, or Oracle. You can use any rdbms tables. And when we say Hadoop, so there is two types. I will just elaborate to which component in Hadoop that SQOOP can able to import and export. So in SQOOP we have two things. One is import. You can import data from rdbms to Hadoop, and then export. That is, you can export from Hadoop to Rdbms. In import, HDFS like RDBMS to HDFS is possible, and then RDBMS to Hive is possible, and then Rdbms to Hbase. So we have these three components in Hadoop to which Rdbms can migrate the data. Sorry, SQOOP can migrate the data from Rdbms to Hadoop. So when we say Hadoop, only three components like HDFS, Hive, and Hbase for import. Okay, so you can directly migrate data from MySQL to HDFS, MySQL to Hive, or Oracle to Hive, and MySQL to Hbase, etc. Now export. In export, like from Hadoop to Rdbms. So HDFS to MySQL. So when I say MySQL, that's RDBMS, okay? RDBMS, any RDBMS, not only MySQL, but today I'm going to show you with MySQL only. And then Hive to MySQL is possible, like RDBMS is possible, but Hbase to RDBMS is not possible. So in export, there is only two things you can do, like HDFS to RDBMS and Hive to RDBMS. Hbase to RDBMS is not possible. But in import, it is possible because your SQOOP can able to migrate the data from from RDBMS to Hbase, so that Hbase can able to understand the structure of RDBMS, but vice versa is not possible. So your RDBMS will not understand the NoSQL type, right? So your RDBMS can't able to accept the NoSQL data, and that's the reason you can't do with SQOOP. Even SQOOP, without SQOOP also you can't do. Okay, so in import you have three things to do, but in export only two things to do. And if you see SQOOP jobs or MapReduce job, it runs on top of MapReduce, but SQOOP is a map only job. We call SQOOP as a map only job. It runs only on map only will be getting running. Reducer will not be running because SQOOP does everything in parallel, and there is no aggregation job in SQOOP because it's just a migration of the whole table to the your Hadoop, and Hadoop back to RDBMS. It's just a table. You are not going to do any kind of an aggregation or something like that, right? So SQOOP runs on MapReduce framework, but it's a map only job. It's a only interview question that people can ask you from like SQOOP, an important interview question, right? So people used to ask you like SQOOP is whether a map only job or it's a MapReduce job. It's a map only job. Okay, that's very important to note. Fine. So that's all about the SQOOP theory. Okay, now let's jump into the practical stuff. So let me show you like what are all the prerequisites that you need, and then we can start with the POCs. Like I'm gonna show you all these migrations as a practical. Like you can even consider this as a proof of concept, and you can even add this in your resume as well. Fine. So what you need is you need to install Hadoop, because like SQOOP is a Hadoop framework, one of the component in Hadoop framework. So you need Hadoop. So you have to install Hadoop, and the Hadoop installation link is provided in the description box. If you haven't done that before, please do it. So you can just install it. That the video reference is there in my description box. Once Hadoop is installed, then you can start downloading SQOOP from internet, from Apache site. Just you have to untar, like unzip. In Linux we say untar, and then like in bash or c. So bash or c is a file, I will show you. So once you done with the Hadoop installation, then there is a file called bashrc, which we call it as an environmental file in which we used to specify the environmental path and variable, like in Windows, right? So similar to that, here we can set all the environmental path and variables of the installed softwares in bashrc file. So once you down install Hadoop, even in the Hadoop installations video, I have explained like what is this bashrc is. So once you are done with the Hadoop installation, in the bash rc file, just come to the last line of the file where you can see I have mentioned the Hadoop home. I exported it. So this is environmental variable, and this right hand side is environmental path. So you have to set your Hadoop home because Hadoop home is required for scoop. So you need to set this, and once that is done, you have to add this Hadoop home in your path at the last line. You can see like I mentioned here, and then slash bin, and finally dollar path. You can see here my dollar path is here. Okay, fine. So this is very important, and once this is done, just save your file and then you can execute it by giving source space.bashrc. Once you have executed this file, and then now you can untar your scoop file. So once you have just untar, like extracted your scoop tar file, the zip file, and that's it. There is no other installation required for scoop. Okay, so for scoop you need to install Hadoop and Java already, but for with respect to scoop there is no installation steps. Fine. Now you can change your directory to scoop, cd scoop. Fine. So now let me show you the directory, scoop directory. So this is my home in which which I have installed the scoop. So you will be seeing a folder called lib. So in this lib folder, you have to download and paste MySQL connector jar. The reason I'm connecting my scoop with MySQL. If it is Oracle, then you have to download Oracle connector jar. If it is DB2, then DB2 connector jar. Okay, respective jars you have to download and paste it here. And that's all. Scoop configuration and installation is done. Now we can move on to the practical stuff. So here, like other than migration, you can simply even read the data from MySQL. Okay, the very first thing I'm going to show you is just to read MySQL data from Scoop without even entering into MySQL. Okay, so here, if you see here, Scoop eval is evaluate. So the short form eval, and then connect your JDBC MySQL and host name in which the host in which MySQL is running localhost, and the database name of MySQL. Okay, it is test. So I created all the tables in MySQL under test, and the username for MySQL, password for MySQL, and then hyphen query, and within double quotes you can pass your query. So this is just you can read the data from Scoop, for the MySQL data from Scoop. Now if I run this command, I can able to get the demo table which is in MySQL, but I can see the results in my scoop. So just change your directory to scoop and just paste this command. So like within some seconds you can able to see the data, the output. Yeah, serial number 2. Now I will show you the same result in MySQL. So for MySQL, if you need to install MySQL because we are doing it with MySQL or any other DB, you have to install it. For installing MySQL in Linux, you have to go for this sudo space apt-get install MySQL-server. So if you execute this command, it will a prompt will come in which it will ask for username and password. Please go with root username as root and password root, because if you go for any other custom passwords, you may forgot the password, right? So that's why I'm saying root will be easy for us to remember. So this command will install MySQL in your machine. So once that is done, entering into MySQL, the command is MySQL-u is username, space root is my username, and then -p, then enter, and it will ask the password. You have to give root is the password that I have given for my MySQL, and while typing the password you will not see the password here, but it's actually typed. Just enter. So now I'm into my MySQL shell. Now use test. I will show my list of databases first. Show databases. Okay, you can see there is a database called test. So now use test, enter. Now show tables. Okay, you can see these many tables are there. So demo is the table which I queried from Scoop, right? So select star from demo. Now there is only one record and its serial number is 2, and the same thing what I have queried in Scoop. right? So here we haven't done any migration. It's just all about I'm just querying MySQL data in scoop. That's it. Now we are gonna start the migration part. So the very first thing, MySQL to HDFS. I have a table in MySQL and then I have to migrate that to a file system in HDFS as a file. I have to just store it as a file. So here scoop import and then connect and all your MySQL details with username and password and table test1. So test1 is the table in which I have a data in MySQL. I have to move this table. I have to copy the MySQL table test1 to my HDFS file system. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you there is a MySQL table called test2. I will just show you test2. Okay, there is one record, serial number 12. Now I will change this test1 to test2 because I have already migrated test1. So now I'm gonna run this. So here you can see M1, M is for mapper. So it's all about like you can increase the parallelism like M1, then M2, something like that you can increase. So I'm gonna run this command, just copy. So here you can see scoop import. So this is import command and then as usual all your configuration MySQL details and then table hyphen table, the table name of MySQL and then M1. So M1 is as I told you, it's for increasing the parallelism, mapper1, enter. So now I triggered it. So now I can able to see the data in my HDFS. So let me go to HDFS. So the default location for the data that gets stored is like Hadoop fs space ls. This is the default place where your data, the migrated data will be get stored when you do it via scoop. So if you want to give a customized path in HDFS in which your migrated data has to store, then you can use, there is an option called target dir. You can mention the target dir in which your MySQL data has to be get stored in HDFS. You can mention that. And there is one more option, scoop import all tables. So if you want to import all the tables inside the database of MySQL, just you can give simply this. It will just migrate all your tables in the given database in MySQL. It will download. That means test is my database name in MySQL. Whatever the tables I have under my test database will be migrated to HDFS. Okay. Now I'm not doing this, but you can, if you want, you can do that. Okay, so if you see here, retrieved one record, that means like there is only one record in the data in the table, right? So like if I give select star from test2, it's just one record and I can able to see it has been moved to copied to HDFS. Let me go back to HDFS. So Hadoop fs space ls, enter. So now I can able to see a directory named as test2 and that is my MySQL table name that creates the directory name will be same as your MySQL table name. Now Hadoop fs ls space test2. Okay, very important. It's not slash test2. It is just test2. People used to give slash test2 and they will get like file not found. So just test2. But if you want to specify in a specific directory, then I told you there is a command target -dir, right? You have to give that. So within this, we can see there will be a file called part-m0000. You can see here part full form is partition. M is mapper output. So when it is reducer, then you will be seeing R there, part-r, but this is just a mapper output, right? So M, because I told you it's a map only job. So just copy this Hadoop fs hyphen let me do a cat here, cat command, so that I can able to see the content of the file part hyphen m000. So you can able to see like 12, right? You can see. So because this is the only record that we had in MySQL table and it has been migrated to our HDFS now. So that means like we have done with the HDFS part and there is MySQL to Hive. So for this, you need to have Hive installed. Like I have a video for it. I've mentioned that in the description box of this video. You have to install Hive in your machine. Okay. So here, what I'm gonna do, there is two things you can do with the Hive. MySQL to Hive. You can create a table in Hive and then you can migrate the data from MySQL to Hive. Or what you can do is you can ask your Scoop to create a table while migration. Okay, on the fly you can create a table and then you can migrate the table. So I'm going to go with the second option. I'm going to create a table on the fly while migrating data from MySQL. So the command is scoop import connect. You have to give all your MySQL information and then the table test. So test is the table which I have in my MySQL and I'm going to migrate that to my Hive and I want my Hive to my scoop to create a table in Hive as MySQL to Hive 1, so now it is 2. MySQL to Hive 2 is a table name, will be get created in your Hive. So I'm giving the command as create Hive table, then Hive import, then M1. So if it is your table is already there, then you can skip this create Hive table. Okay, then it will just migrate it. So for this you need to have Hive. So let me, what I will do is I will just show you the command, means the data from the table test. Okay, there is two record, 1 and 2, which I'm showing you in MySQL. Now I'm going to show you the same in my Hive. So let me come out from here because I don't have enough memory for now. So now I will just jump into Hive, bin/Hive. We'll enter into the Hive shell, and I'm going to show you whether I already have the particular table or not. I'm going to show. Okay, I will not have this particular table in my Hive. I'm going to show you that. So I have not given any database name here. That means in Hive, the tables will be get created in default database when there is no database mentioned before the table name. Okay. So now I'm going to use the default database only. I will just show you here. Okay. Show tables. Okay. So if you see here, I have a table as MySQL to Hive 1, but there is no MySQL to Hive 2. So here our table name is MySQL Hive 2. So this will be get created hereafter only. Now I'm going to run this. I will be running this. Back to Scoop window, enter. So now Scoop will migrate the test table from MySQL to my Hive by creating an Hive table called the MySQL to Hive 2. Okay, so if you see here, like the Hive, the MapReduce job has been completed, but still the final touches, like it's like loading the data to the Hive. So the final touch is happening. So it says like retrieve two records. Yes, I have two records on the table. So like we will be getting an message like loading table to the particular database and the table name. So once we get that, the Hive the table will be get created. Just let's wait for that. So like it's still in process. Okay, so if you see here, loading data to the table default MySQL to Hive 2. Okay, so that means it's a default database in Hive. If you haven't selected any database, then it's a default. So currently I'm in default database, show tables. Now you can see there is the new table which has been created by Scoop while migrating the data. Let me select the table. Sorry, I will copy it and paste. Yep. So now I'm just executing this in my Hive. So I'll be having two records and one column. Yeah, it's 1 and 10, just two records. Was what was I showed you in the MySQL is the same, right? So you can see here, select star from test. It's 1 and 10. That's it. So the migration from MySQL to Hive is also completed. Now the last thing is MySQL to Hbase. So I'm not going to show you this in practical because I don't have Hbase installed in my machine. So yes, you need Hbase to be get installed before doing this. So here again, like you give all your MySQL information and then the table from which you are going to migrate. So this demo is a table which I have in my MySQL, and here also you can use the existing Hbase table, or you can ask Scoop to create it while migrating the data. So here you can see Hbase table, test Hbase, and then the column family is CF. There is a concept called column family in Hbase. So like if you know Hbase, you will come to know this. Column family name I have to give, and then Hbase row key. For sure, there should be a row key in your Hbase. For sure, you have to create one row key column, and whatever the integer column was there in your MySQL table, give that as a row key for the row key. So I'm giving my PID column name, which is there in my table demo, as a row key here. So it's like a row ID that needs to be get created for sure in Hbase. So you need to have kind of an integer column when you migrate the data. So assign one integer column of your MySQL database table to this particular row key, the column. And then Hbase create table, then use like you can give your parallelism. So this will create an Hbase table with the column family CF, and the data will be get migrated. Now it's done. Now let's move on to like export. So as I already told you, HDFS to MySQL is possible, Hive to MySQL is possible, Hbase to Rdbms is not possible via Scoop. even without scoop is also not possible. Fine. So now what I'm going to do here is HDFS in which I have a data as a file, and I'm going to move this file to my MySQL table. I created a table as name1 here. So let me show you that in my MySQL. Let me log on to my MySQL. Okay, so use test. So let me create a new table. Okay, so create table name underscore 3 serial number int, and then comma name var of 10. Okay, so why I'm creating two columns, right? So sorry, spelling mistake. Okay, why I'm creating two columns, right? See here, the file what I'm going to send for means the file which I'm going to load it in MySQL is name.txt. This name.txt has two columns. I will just cat this in HDFS Hadoop Hadoop fs hyphen cat, enter. So like I have two columns here and one record. The value will be 1 comma Gautam. So you can see here 1 comma Gautam. So this name.txt has two columns, and that's the reason I created two columns in MySQL here. So now I'm going to move this, copy this file from HDFS to the table MySQL name underscore 3. So back to the commands. So here I remove this name 1 and I'll just put name 3 because this is my destination table MySQL, and this is my command export dir, and I'm going to export this particular directory that the with along with the file name you can give name.txt. Now just copy this and back to the scoop window, just paste, enter. Okay, so you can see here the export has been completed. Now go back to MySQL and I'm going to select this table, select star from name underscore 3. Yeah, you can able to see the record here 1 comma Gautam. So what we did is we moved a file from HDFS to MySQL. So export is done. So the next thing is like Hive to MySQL. And if you see the command, right, it's almost same. The HDFS to MySQL and Hive to MySQL both are kind of same. You can see here also I'm giving the HDFS location, and here also I'm giving export dir the same HDFS location. So the one difference between these two here, this particular directory was not used by any Hive table. So Hive, whenever you create a table in Hive, what will happen is the Hive will store the data in HDFS only. Right. So migrating data from Hive is nothing but migrating the data from the HDFS to whatever the destination is. But the thing is, the HDFS path what I have given here is pointing to a table. That's the only difference. So this demo I will show you in the Hive. So just move to Hive. So show tables. Okay, so here, okay, it's in a different database. So use test, show tables. Okay, you can see there is a table demo. Like select star from demo. There is only one record one, and I will show you the location of this table in HDFS because any table that you create in Hive will get stored in HDFS only. So show create table, this is a command which will show you the location of the table demo. Okay, so now you can see this is the location of my table in HDFS. So here, so whatever the data that you load into the demo table will be get stored in this location in HDFS. So I am going to give this location in my export command. So that's it. So but if you see this demo, this particular directory is pointing by an Hive table, but here it was not pointed by any Hive table. That's the difference. But anyway, I'm going to use the same HDFS path only. So because sometimes when people used to say like you said Hive, but there is no Hive table name here, you are giving just simply a path similar to HDFS export. So yeah, so this is also same like the previous one, but this demo is pointed by a Hive table. Now when you just run this, what will happen? So again, like I have created a table in MySQL called test Hive. So to this test Hive table, my Hive data will be get migrated. So let me run this. So I'll give test Hive underscore 1. Okay, so let me run this. Yeah, okay, I don't have the table in MySQL. So what we can do, we can create a table. So test underscore Hive underscore 1 is what the table name, right? Okay, I have decided to have. Okay, then serial number, it's just one integer column we have in that table, right? So sorry, oh I'm sorry, create table. Yes. Okay, I created a table test Hive 1, and in Hive I queried you, I just showed you, right? Select star from demo. It has only one record. Now I'm going to migrate this data to my MySQL. Okay, so let me go back to the commands, just copy this and then run it. That's it. So now we can see the data in MySQL from Hive. Let's wait for the execution. Okay, so here it's exported. So the data has been exported. So exported one record. So now I will show you this in MySQL. So select star from test underscore hive underscore one, enter. Yeah, so we migrated the data from MySQL to sorry, from Hive to MySQL, but it's again HDFS location, but it was pointed by a Hive table. Okay, that's a difference that you need to understand. So that's all with respect to the video. I will share this commands in a page, and I will just share the link in the description box of the video where you can find these commands. And Hbase is the thing that you have to try. And if I get a time, like I will install and make a separate video for this. So thanks for watching data engineering. If you really like this video, please do subscribe channel and forward this to your friends and colleagues. We do have a lot of tech videos, not only big data. We do have other programming languages and cloud computing as well. Just have a look, and we provide videos in two languages, English and Tamil. And please do share this video in your LinkedIn profile so that I will be getting more support. Thanks for watching.